The night was quiet on the outer edge of the human colony on planet Verdanus. Most people were asleep, their homes silent, their minds at peace. But Liam couldn't sleep. He stood outside his small workshop, staring at the stars. He liked the silence of the night. The stars made him feel small, but not in a bad way. It reminded him there was more out there, more than machines and rules, more than this boring colony life. Suddenly, a bright flash cut through the sky. It wasn't a meteor, it was too fast, too controlled. A burning object flew above the trees and crashed into the deep forest with a loud explosion. The ground shook slightly under Liam's feet. Birds screamed and lights flickered in the distance. Liam's heart raced. He grabbed his flashlight and a small scanner. The colony had rules. Don't go out after hours. Don't investigate unknown signals. Report everything to command. But Liam didn't care about rules tonight. Something about that crash felt different, important. He reached the crash site after 20 minutes of walking through the thick trees. Smoke rose in the air, and the smell of burning metal filled his nose. The object had torn a deep hole in the earth, like a scar on the planet's surface. It was a ship, but not human. It looked smooth, organic, like it had grown rather than been built. Blue lights flickered weakly across its surface. Liam stepped closer. The ship was still warm. Part of it had opened like a shell, and something had crawled or fallen out. He saw a trail of glowing liquid leading into the bushes. He followed the trail carefully, and then he saw her, a figure lying near the roots of a large tree. Not human, but not completely alien either. She looked like a girl, tall, slender, with silver blue skin that shimmered in the moonlight. Her long hair floated slightly, like it had no gravity. She wore a torn suit full of wires and lights. Now broken, she was breathing, but barely. Liam dropped to his knees beside her. "Hey, are you okay?" he whispered. Her eyes opened slowly, glowing violet like the sky before dawn. She looked at him with fear, pain, and confusion. She tried to speak but coughed instead. Then, with a trembling hand, she reached toward him and said in a weak voice, "Don't let them find me." Liam froze. "Who?" he asked, but her eyes closed, and she passed out. He looked around. No one was there yet, but someone, or something, was coming. He could feel it without wasting time. He lifted her gently. She was light, like carrying a shadow. Her skin was warm and cold at the same time. He walked back through the trees, holding her tightly, hoping no one saw him. Back at his workshop, he locked the door and laid her on the old workbench. He grabbed a blanket and covered her. Her body was glowing faintly now, like her energy was trying to heal her. Liam didn't understand what she was, but he knew she needed help, and he wasn't going to let her down. He connected his scanner to her suit, trying to learn something. The readings made no sense. Multiple energy sources, unknown biosigns, strange tech. She was not just an alien, she was something more. He sat beside her and watched her breathe. Her chest rose and fell slowly, calmly now. She looked peaceful. But the words she spoke still echoed in his mind. Don't let them find me. Who was chasing her? Was she a criminal, a soldier, a victim? He didn't know, but his gut said she wasn't the enemy. She was scared, alone, and hurt, just like he had been once. Long ago, suddenly, his computer beeped. He walked over and saw a new alert. 3 unknown ships had entered orbit. No ID. No signal. They were scanning the surface, and one of their scans had passed directly over the crash site. Liam turned off the lights and covered the windows. He looked at the alien girl again. Whatever this was, it was bigger than him. But it was too late to back out now. He had made a choice the moment he picked her up, outside. The sky rumbled with silent thunder as the ships above watched the planet. Below, Liam whispered to himself, "I don't know who you are, but I'm not letting them take you." The girl stirred in her sleep. A small light glowing from her hand, somewhere above, in the dark of space. The hunters were already on their way. It was 3 a.m. when the silence broke, not with sound, but with movement. The girl was no longer on the workbench Liam woke up on. The floor, the blanket still wrapped around his shoulders, but the bench was empty. His heart jumped. He reached for his flashlight, shining it around the dark room. Then he saw her. She stood in the corner like a shadow, watching him. Her eyes were wide open, glowing with a soft purple light. Her silver blue skin shimmered under the beam. She wasn't shaking. She wasn't weak anymore, but she looked scared and ready to attack. "Hey, it's okay," Liam said softly, standing slowly, hands raised. "I brought you here. You crashed outside, remember?" The girl didn't speak. She moved one step closer, her fingers glowing faintly. Electric energy floated around her fingertips like tiny stars. Her eyes were scanning him, studying every breath, every heartbeat. "I'm not your enemy," Liam said, trying not to blink. "I helped you, that's all." Her eyes narrowed. Then her voice came out, low and sharp like a whisper mixed with metal. "Where am I?" "You're safe, in my workshop, inside Human Colony Sector 9. Liam said. "You were injured. I found you in the forest." She looked around slowly, eyes pausing on tools. Machines, wires, her posture relaxed just a little, but her energy still crackled in the air. "Who sent you?" she asked. "No one," Liam said. "I just couldn't leave you out there." She tilted her head, as if confused by his answer. "No reward?" she asked. "No orders?" "No reward," Liam said with a small shrug. "Just humanity." She blinked, as if the word felt strange in her mind. Slowly, the lights around her fingers faded. She sat down cautiously, like a wild animal still testing the trap. Liam brought her water. She stared at it for a moment, then drank it in one go. She seemed hungry, but more for trust than food. "What's your name?" he asked. She hesitated, then replied, "Alira." "Alira," Liam repeated softly. "I'm Liam." Silence filled the room for a while, just the hum of machines and the soft sound of her breathing. "You're not from here, are you?" he asked. She shook her head. "I'm not from this system, not from your star maps. What happened to your ship?" "I didn't crash," she said, voice flat. "I escaped." That word chilled the air. Escaped, not fell, not landed. "Escaped? Who's after you?" Liam asked. Alira looked up at him, her eyes darker now. "They call themselves the Collectors," she said. "They build life, then break it. You were built?" "I was created," she said, "but I chose freedom." Liam couldn't believe what he was hearing. An artificial alien being running from her creators. Not just tech, but living, breathing, thinking. And she had a choice, and she chose to run. "You said not to let them find you," he said. "They will search for me," she said. "They already are." As if on cue, Liam's console beeped. A new scan sweep had passed over the area. Unknown source. Silent, unregistered, too smooth to be human. "They're getting closer," Liam whispered. Alira stood up quickly, walking to the window. She pressed her hand on the wall. Her skin glowed, and for a moment, the workshop lights dimmed. "She's using the power," Liam thought. "But how?" "You have to hide," he said. Alira looked at him, confused. "No," she said calmly. "You do." Before he could ask what she meant, she turned, raised her hand, and suddenly, the walls shimmered with a soft energy field. "Your home is invisible to them for now," she said, "but not forever." Liam stared at her. This strange, powerful girl, scared but brave, lost but in control. She had secrets, and she wasn't telling everything yet, but she hadn't hurt him, not even when she could. "Why me?" he asked. "You could have gone anywhere." She looked at him for a long time, her voice quiet. "Because when I opened my eyes, you weren't afraid of me." Liam didn't know what to say. Outside, the shadows of enemy ships passed over. The colony, inside, the glow of her skin lit the room like a distant star. The night had only just begun, and nothing would ever be the same again. The dream wasn't real, but the fear was. Liam jolted awake, gasping. The sound of buzzing drones echoed outside, like angry insects in the air. Red warning lights flashed across his console. Another scan had passed overhead, closer this time. Slower, more focused, he looked around, but Alira was already gone, not gone hiding. She appeared from the shadows like a ghost. Her violet eyes locked on the blinking lights. "They've narrowed it down," she said. "They're getting smarter." Liam's heart beat faster. "How do they know where to look?" "You left digital traces," she said. "Every move, every message, every scan you used to check my suit. They can track it." Liam cursed under his breath. He had been careful, but not careful enough. "Can you erase it?" he asked. "I can hide us," she replied. "But not forever." She touched his console, her fingers glowing faintly. The screens blinked off, then came back on, but different. His entire system had changed, faster, cleaner, alien. "Your tech is primitive," she said softly, "but it listens." He stared at her. Who or what was she really? Alira turned to him, her expression unreadable. "I need to know something," she said. "If they catch us, and I lose control." "Will you end it?" Liam froze. "What do you mean, lose control?" She hesitated, then spoke slowly. "I was built for war," she said. "My body is not the only weapon. My mind can break, and when it does, I hurt everything around me." Silence filled the room. Then Liam walked closer. "I don't think you'll lose control," he said. She stared at him, eyes glowing softly. "You trust too easily," she whispered. "No," Liam replied. "I trust what I see, and what I see is someone who doesn't want to hurt anyone." Before Alira could respond, an alarm echoed across the colony, loud. "Cold, emotionless, Sector 9. All residents remain indoors. Colony scan in progress." Outside, the sky shimmered with red lights. 3 black ships hovered low, no logos, no human markings. Silent and smooth like shadows with engines. One drone stopped just above Liam's roof. Alira's body stiffened. "They're here," she whispered. "Not just watching, hunting, without warning." She grabbed Liam's wrist and pulled him toward the basement hatch. "Wait, what are you?" "No time," she snapped. "Move." They entered the underground space, cold, dusty, filled with old tools and spare metal parts. Liam hadn't used it in years. Now it felt like a grave. Alira closed the hatch and placed her hand over it. The metal shifted and melted slightly, sealing the door invisibly. No one could see it now. From above, footsteps echoed, not boots, not human. Something metallic moved slowly through the workshop. A scanner beam passed through the floor. Liam held his breath. Alira stood still, her hand over his chest. Her touch was cool. Steady for a second. He thought time had stopped. Then, silence. The drone passed, moving away. They waited 10 more minutes in the dark. No one spoke. Liam could hear his own heartbeat. Then Alira whispered, "We have to leave now." "Where?" Liam asked. "I have a place," she said. "A ship, hidden far from the colony." "You have a ship?" "Half a ship," she corrected. "It needs repairs, and it needs you." Liam stared at her, confused. "Why me?" "Because I can't fix what I don't understand," she said. "I escaped their prison, not their damage." She pulled a small device from her suit. It projected a map. Far beyond the forest, past the canyon, under the desert rocks, a buried escape pod, her last hope. And now his too. Liam stood up slowly. "What about the colony?" Alira looked at him with sad eyes. "They've already marked it," she said. "They're not after humans, only me. But they'll burn the ground to catch me." Liam felt anger rise in his chest. They would erase innocent people, just to take one life. He made his choice. "I'm coming with you," he said. Alira didn't smile. But she didn't stop him either. She reached out her hand. "Then let's run, before there's nothing left to run from." Above them, the stars watched silently. And deep in the black sky, the hunters circled closer. The wind was different that morning. It was colder, sharper, like the planet itself knew something was wrong. Liam stood on the edge of the forest, breathing hard. Behind him, the colony was waking up, but it wasn't the same. Too many eyes in the sky, too many shadows on the ground. Beside him, Alira crouched low, scanning the trees with a small glowing crystal. "This way," she said, voice steady. "We have 2 hours before they shift patrol." Liam nodded. He hadn't slept, not really. He packed only what mattered. A toolkit, his scanner, a few energy bars, and a small photo of his late brother. The forest was silent. Even the birds had stopped singing. It felt like nature was holding its breath. As they moved through the dense trees, Liam finally spoke. "Why here? Why this ship buried so far?" Alira glanced at him, her eyes reflecting the filtered sunlight. "This ship is not theirs," she said. "It's mine from before." "Before what?" "Before they reprogrammed me." Liam wanted to ask more, but her expression told him not to, not yet. He understood that her past wasn't just painful, it was dangerous. They moved for hours. Across rocks, roots, and old forgotten trails, the desert came into view, dry, open, deadly. "No cover here," Liam muttered. Alira raised her hand and traced a symbol in the air. A shimmer wrapped around them, heat, dust, and light. Bent around their bodies, a camouflage field. "You're full of surprises," Liam said. "I'm full of things I wish I wasn't," she replied quietly. Halfway across the desert, a shadow moved across the sky, a drone, fast and silent, scanning. The land below, Liam and Alira dropped flat. The drone hovered for a moment, then shot off west. They waited until the sound was gone. Then they ran. Their legs burned, sweat covered Liam's face. But he kept going. Alira ran with ease like she was built for it. And she was. They finally reached a flat stretch of cracked stone. She stopped suddenly and knelt, brushing sand away from a smooth panel. She placed her palm on it. The ground rumbled. A large metal door slid open, revealing a narrow staircase leading underground. "This is it," she said. "The last piece of who I was." They entered the hidden chamber. The ship was there, old, dusty, but glowing faintly. Its surface curved like a seashell, humming softly like it was sleeping. "It's beautiful," Liam said. "She's mine," Alira replied. "She was the first thing I ever truly chose." Liam walked around it, eyes wide. "She's in good shape," he said. "But she needs fuel, and her AI core is half fried. Can you fix it?" Liam smiled slightly. "With time and your tech, maybe." They set to work. Liam opened panels and connected wires, while Alira used her energy to awaken forgotten systems. She hummed softly as she worked, a tune Liam had never heard, but it made him feel safe. He glanced at her while she focused on the ship. She looked more alive now, like every step toward freedom gave her strength. But he could also see the wear on her face. Running had a cost. "Do you miss your home?" he asked suddenly. Alira paused. "I never had one," she said. "Just missions, orders, walls." She turned and looked at him. "But now, I think I understand the word." "What word?" "Home," she whispered, before Liam could answer. The ship's alarm beeped. An alert, motion above ground, closing in fast. "They found us," she said. Standing up quickly, Liam grabbed his bag. "Then let's fly out." "Not yet," Alira said. "We need 10 more minutes to finish launch sequence." Footsteps echoed above. Heavy, not drones, not human. They were coming down the stairs. Alira's eyes burned with light. She walked toward the entrance. "Seal the ship," she told Liam. "No," he said. "We face them together." She turned to him. "You're brave," she said. "No," Liam replied. "I'm just done running." They stood side by side as the first enemy stepped into view. Tall, armored, faceless. The air pulsed with tension. Liam clenched his fists, ready to protect. But Alira stepped forward, her voice calm. "You want me," she said. "Come and try." The battle for freedom had begun. The smell of burnt metal filled the air. Sparks rained from the ceiling as Liam slammed the hatch shut behind them. He and Alira had barely escaped the stairwell. The enemy was stronger, faster, But they had the ship now. Alira worked quickly, her fingers flying across the glowing interface. Liam watched her, sweat on his forehead. "Engines are coming online," she said. "But they're not stable yet." "I'll handle the stabilizer," Liam said, grabbing his tools. He ran to the side panel and knelt, heart pounding. The energy pulse was overheating. The whole system could explode if he failed. "Focus," he whispered to himself. "Focus and survive." Behind him, Alira's voice called out, "Someone's coming, fast." Liam didn't look up. He couldn't. One mistake and they were both dead. Then the voice came, a voice Liam hadn't heard in years. Low, sharp, familiar. Well. "Looks like I found my little brother again." Liam froze. He turned his head slowly. A tall man in a dark coat stood at the edge of the chamber. His face was older, scarred, but Liam knew that face. "Elias," Liam whispered. "His brother, the one who vanished 5 years ago. Miss me?" Elias asked with a smile. But it wasn't a warm smile. It was the smile of someone who came to finish a job, not catch up. "What are you doing here?" Liam asked. "I'm here for her," Elias said, pointing at Alira. "She doesn't belong to you," Liam snapped. "She doesn't belong to anyone," Elias replied. "She's property, valuable property." Alira stood silently, her eyes locked on Elias. She didn't look surprised, just tired. "You knew," Liam said. Turning to her, "I didn't want to," she whispered. "But I knew someone close would come for me eventually." Elias stepped forward, slow and confident. "You always wanted to fix things, little brother," he said. "Now you've broken something you can't fix. She's not a thing." Liam growled. "She's alive, she thinks. She chooses. That makes her free." Elias shook his head. "She's a weapon," he said. "She escaped the lab that cost billions. And she took classified tech with her. You're helping a fugitive. And that makes you one too." Liam stepped in front of Alira. "Then I guess I'm a fugitive now," Elias sighed, then raised his hand. 5 armored soldiers entered behind him, guns ready, eyes hidden behind dark helmets. "You can't win this," Elias said. "Give her up, and I'll let you go. Disappear. Start over, like I did." Liam looked at Alira. Her eyes met his, soft but steady. She didn't say a word. She didn't need to. Liam stepped back toward her. "I'd rather die with her than live as a coward." Elias looked genuinely disappointed. "Then I'm sorry," he said. "I didn't want it to end this way." He snapped his fingers. The soldiers moved. Before they could fire, Alira raised her hands. A shockwave burst from her palms, throwing everyone off balance. Liam fell, but grabbed the panel and finished the last connection. "Engines are ready," he shouted. Alira turned to him. "Get in the ship now." They ran inside, sealing the door behind them. The engines roared to life, the walls shaking. Elias fired a pulse weapon, hitting the side. Sparks flew, but the ship lifted. Barely, but it lifted. As they flew out through the rocky chamber roof, Liam looked back. Elias stood below, watching them rise, not with anger, with something worse, patience. He wasn't done. This was just the beginning. Inside the ship, Alira sat quietly. Liam turned to her. "You okay?" She nodded, but her eyes were distant. "You shouldn't have trusted me," she said quietly. Liam blinked. "What are you talking about?" "I knew someone close to you would betray us," she said. "I didn't tell you because I didn't want to believe it." Liam sat beside her. "I would have trusted you either way," he said. Alira turned to him. "But now they know who you are. They'll come after you too." "Let them," Liam said. "Let them try." The ship soared through the sky, cutting into the clouds like a silver arrow. Below, the colony burned quietly. Above, the stars waited. But the betrayal had changed everything. They were no longer just running. Now they were fighting back. The ship was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of silence that didn't bring peace. Only pain. Liam sat alone in the cockpit, staring at the empty pilot seat beside him. The engines hummed softly as the ship drifted above the clouds. Below, the world turned Slowly blue, green, golden, but inside, everything felt gray. Alira was gone, taken. It happened 2 days ago. A tracking signal had followed them to a landing site. Alira had sensed it first. She told Liam to stay in the ship. She went out alone and never came back. Liam waited, searched, shouted her name into the wind, but the only answer he got was a static signal and a single word sent to the ship's terminal. Reclaimed. Since then, Liam hadn't slept, hadn't eaten much. His mind was full of her voice, her strange laugh, her quiet courage, the way she said home like it was new, and now she was gone. He knew where they took her. The signal was clear. It pointed to a hidden base deep in the black rock canyons of the planet's dead zone. The maps called it Outpost Null. No one ever came back from there. But Liam wasn't no one. Not anymore. He stood up, walked to the ship's locker, and opened it. Inside were 2 things he never thought he'd use: a pulse rifle and Alira's broken suit module, still glowing faintly. He held the device gently, like it was part of her. Then he whispered, "I'm coming." The flight to Outpost Null was rough. The wind howled, lightning cracked, and rocks flew in the sky like they were alive. The base wasn't on the surface. It was buried under a massive crater, hidden beneath layers of metal and secrets. Liam landed the ship on a narrow cliff ledge. He wore a cloak, carried his tools, and hid the weapon under his arm. He didn't know what he'd find. He just knew he wasn't leaving without her. The outer gates were silent. He hacked them fast. Alira had taught him some of their tech patterns. The doors opened with a hiss. Cold air touched his skin like a warning. Inside, it was worse. Bright white walls, no sound, no life, only cameras watching him. He walked slowly, every step echoing too loud. Then he heard a voice. "You came," Alira said, stepping from the shadows. Liam froze. "You knew I would," he replied. "You're too emotional," Elias said, walking in circles. "That's your weakness." "No," Liam said, eyes burning. "That's why she trusted me," Elias smirked. "She's in the chamber," he said. "But she's not your Alira anymore." Liam's heart dropped. "What did you do to her?" "Nothing permanent," Elias said. "Just reminded her who built her." Liam didn't wait. He ran, sprinting past the guards, blasting open doors. He didn't care if it was suicide. He had to get to her. The chamber was cold. Alira floated inside a stasis pod, wires in her head, light in her veins. Her eyes were closed, but her fingers twitched like she was dreaming. Liam ran to her. "Alira," he whispered, pressing his hand to the glass. "I'm here." She didn't move. He opened the panel, started cutting wires, sparks flying in all directions. An alarm screamed through the base. "You'll kill her," Elias shouted from the door. "No," Liam said, pulling the last wire. "I'll wake her." The pod hissed, then opened. Alira collapsed into his arms, weak, barely breathing, but her hand found his. "I knew you'd come," she whispered. "Always," Liam said. Guards stormed in, but Alira raised her head. Her eyes snapped open, not violet anymore, but blazing white. The chamber shook. Machines screamed. Lights shattered. Liam held her close as energy exploded from her body. She wasn't broken. She was reborn. She stood on her own, her voice calm. "We're leaving." Elias aimed his weapon, but Alira didn't flinch. She simply whispered, "Sleep," and he fell, unconscious, like a puppet with cut strings. Liam and Alira walked out together, hand in hand. The base collapsed behind them, piece by piece. No more cages, no more chains. When they reached the ship, Liam helped her inside. She leaned against his shoulder. "Exhausted but free. No more running," she said. Liam nodded. "No more." They took off into the sky, leaving the broken past behind, heading toward something neither of them had ever truly known, a future they could choose, together. The stars never looked this close before, like they were watching, listening, waiting. The ship floated silently above the planet's surface. The battle was over. The base was gone. But inside the ship, something far more important was happening. Liam sat beside Alira in the quiet medical bay. Her head rested against his shoulder. She was alive, but different. After the energy burst that destroyed the base, she collapsed. Her systems had pushed beyond their limits. Her body, her code, her mind, all had burned to protect him. Now she was fading, not in pain, but in peace. And that scared Liam more than any weapon ever could. You used everything, he whispered. You gave too much. Alira opened her eyes slowly. Soft white light still glowed in them, but it was dim now. I didn't give it away, she said, her voice barely above a breath. I gave it to you. Liam held her hand tightly. Why? He asked. You could have run. You could have saved yourself. Alira smiled weakly. I didn't want to be saved, she said. I wanted to be human, if only for one night. Liam shook his head. You are human, more than most I've met, she chuckled softly. That's the nicest lie I've ever heard. It's not a lie, he said. You chose love, freedom, sacrifice. That's what being human is. The ship's lights dimmed gently, responding to Alira's fading pulse. She was part of the ship now, part of everything. But she still looked at him like a girl, not a machine, not a weapon. Just someone who wanted to be understood and loved. Stay with me, she whispered. Liam leaned closer, brushing her hair from her face. I'm not going anywhere, he said. Her eyes shimmered. Then let me be yours, she said. Just tonight. Just this one moment. Let me feel what it's like to belong. Liam kissed her forehead and, for a second, the ship stopped humming, as if the universe itself paused to listen. I don't want just one night, he said. I want every moment from here on, with you. Alira blinked slowly. Her glowing fingers touched his chest, over his heart. I can bond with you, she said, but it's risky. You'll carry part of me inside you forever. I already do, Liam said without fear. Alira closed her eyes. Her light spread gently across his skin. No pain, no fear, only warmth. Memories flowed between them, hers and her. First escape, her first fear, her first laugh, his childhood, his loneliness, his hope, all shared, all seen. When the light faded, she collapsed against him. But she was breathing, calm, steady, alive. Liam looked down. Her skin had changed. Slightly warmer, less metallic. Her heartbeat echoed in sync with his. They were one now, bonded. The ship responded instantly. Systems lit up in harmony, like it understood their connection. Alira opened her eyes again. I'm still here, she said in surprise. Liam smiled. You're not just here, he said. You're home. She touched his face gently. Then let's go find a place to live, really live. Liam nodded. He guided the ship away from the war-torn planet, out into the stars that had once seemed so far away. No longer fugitives, no longer weapons or tools, just two beings, bonded by choice, not code. As the ship soared into the void, Liam whispered, we saved each other. Alira leaned against him. No, she said with a smile. You rescued me, human. Now let me be yours. Always.